Hey everybody, it's Chainsaw Gears 12 here, and I am here with a review. And this album I should have reviewed when it came out, but I overlooked it and I shouldn't have. But anyways, I am reviewing today the Wintersun's new album, Time 1, which references are going to be a Time 2 released in 2013, I believe. The reason why I overlooked this album is because I just was looking at other stuff, and I just saw it and kind of just went, nah. So I just skipped it. But then I saw a lot of fellow reviewers that I either know or don't know giving it a lot of praise, and there was a lot of hype around it. So I decided to go check it out and listen to it and see what all the hype's about. And I kind of see where the hype is coming from. So basically, if you want to know the full track listing and the personnel in the description, but I will say this. My favorite track, I believe, is either Sons of Winter and Stars or Darkness and Frost. Actually, I'll go through the whole track listing anyway. First track is When Time Fades Away, which is the opener. And this song sets up for what this album is, kind of in a way. But when I first heard the opening, When Time Fades Away, I'm listening and going, okay. Because the music sounds like it would be like an opener for like a medieval movie, or it sounds like, I don't want to sound kind of childish, but like the Chronicles of Narnia, stuff like that. Like the first movie, The Chronicles of Narnia, The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, there's like a battle scene in the end, and for some reason, some of the music in the opening of this album, When Time Fades Away, some of the music reminds me of like a battle scene from like that kind of movie, or a movie like that. It just sounds like a medieval movie type song that would go into a movie, basically to get the people inspired or something like that. So that's kind of what that song reminded me of, but it was an interesting opening. Then we have Sons of Winter and Stars. Then we have track 3, Land of Snow and Sorrow. 4, Darkness and Frost. And 5, Time. So there's only 5 tracks, but this album like goes on forever. Let's see. When Time Fades Away, When Time Fades Away clocks in at 4 minutes. Sons of Winter and Stars clocks in at 13 minutes. Jesus. Land of Snow and Sorrow, 8 minutes, 8.5 minutes. Darkness and Frost, 2 minutes. And then Time clocks in at almost 12 minutes. So basically, you're getting a lot of music within 5 tracks. So basically, what is the sound of this album? If you've not checked this out by now, I would have to say it's a mixture of a couple of things. A mixture of Dream Theater type stuff. A mixture of Rhapsody of Fire, or Rhapsody, depending on people call them by different names. A lot of people will reference them sounding like Dragon Force, but Rhapsody of Fire, or Rhapsody, or whatever you want to call them, are more symphonic. They're not just like straight Dragon Force type stuff. They have more symphonic type stuff and more of this medieval type sounding going on. Some between the Buried in Me moments, and there's just like, it's kind of hard to explain. There's a lot of heavy moments and a lot of symphonic, like medieval type moments. So basically, if you're into that kind of stuff, kind of into that medieval type music, like that medieval type metal, what they call Viking metal, I mean, kind of like that, there's a lot of keyboarding. That's basically what I'm trying to get at with this side of this review, is because there's a lot of keyboarding, there's a lot of moments where it's just like the keyboard's going crazy and the guitars. Now, after the guitar work on this album is kind of iffy to me. Not saying it's bad, it's just some moments I'm impressed by the guitar players and what they're doing. In some moments, I'm kind of like, I've heard this kind of stuff before. It's kind of but it all evens out, because there's some moments where it's kind of weak on the guitar parts, and sometimes high. There's some good solo bits. I mean, it's just like some moments on this album impressed me on guitar wise, and some moments didn't. Onto the bass. Some moments on on all 5 tracks, I heard the bass clearly, and some moments I didn't. So it's kind of hard to tell if like the mixing of the bass is off or something like that. Onto the vocals. The vocals range from not like a death growl, like really death, not like Whitechapel death growl. It's kind of like the death growl of like what you would say a more commercialized, metal band. It's kind of hard to explain. It's kind of like the screaming you would hear off of like Bullet for My Valentine type. And I'm not saying that they are like, not referencing like, oh, they're the same thing. I'm referencing that the vocals are kind of like that. They're not like, Whitechapel like satanic sounding. It's kind of like just like the guys like just screaming low, and it is what it is. It's hard. It's like I said, it's hard to explain the vocals. Then there's also some people might say singing. People might say it's just like yelling. But it's kind of like the vocal style on that side of vocals. It kind of sounds like Dragon Force type, but it's not like singing. It's more of like yelling in a lot of spots. Not really singing, but there's two different vocal styles going on. But basically, you get the picture. Basically, this album, in the 5 tracks that it gives you, is just to me, a pretty decent symphonic metal album, or a power album, or whatever you want to call this, because there's just a lot of moments where it's like basically a lot of symphonic stuff going on, some piano bits, some orchestrate type stuff. There's a mixture of different things going on. So it's not a straight symphonic album. It's not a straight heavy metal album. It put a lot of mixtures into it. So I really like that, and I really enjoy that. And so basically, all in all, also did the drums. Some moments on the drums, it feels like the drums are getting overpowered by other instruments. Mainly the opening to, I think, the second track, which is Sun and Winter and Stars. There's a part where it sounds like, maybe I'm wrong, maybe it's not on this track. I'm pretty sure it's on this track, where there's like an explosion, and you just hear all these guitars going crazy, and there's like there's like keyboard bits, and then the drums are like slamming with their what is it called? Blast beating. Sorry about that. And it sounds kind of drowned out, I guess, because if it was like pushed up any more in the mix, it would be really irritating. But I mean, all in all, I mean, most of the time the drums are pretty clear. You can understand what's happening, what the drummer's trying to do. But basically, what's really going to catch your attention is those keyboards, because that's what really they're trying to push, is that you pay attention to all the symphonic type stuff, because that's mainly what they're trying to push for this album. And just reading the song titles alone, you can kind of tell what this kind of album is going to be. So to recap, basically, to say some things, is that I was impressed. About 75% of this album, I was impressed by what was happening, because I usually don't listen to metal like this, because usually when I try to, it annoys me or bothers me, or it tries too hard. But I feel like Wintersun on Time 1, it feels like it's a good mixture of, it gives you what it's trying to throw at you with the symphonic, and it gives you some heavy like riffs, or some heavy actual riffs in this album. So I really enjoyed that. So I enjoyed the mixture. So this is one of the few bands that I can actually say that I've actually listened to a full album from them, like a symphonic type album, basically. So I was pleased by that. Now the other 25% that I am not referencing that I was impressed is that there's moments where I'm thinking, okay, I don't think that really went there, or the vocals probably don't fit over this like section. Like there was a section in a song, I can't remember exactly where, because I was listening to it all the way through and repeating. There was a section in a certain song where the riffs that were going on, the vocals, in my opinion, the way I'm hearing it, it doesn't fit right to me. It doesn't sound like it should be going that way in that tempo. But it is what it is. But all in all, I think this is a pretty decent album, and I will say that I am excited to see what Time 2, which will be released 2013 is what they're saying. I'm curious to see what Time 2 is going to give us. So I'm excited to see what that is. But that is my review, guys. So if you enjoyed the review, like the video. And if you like me and you like what I do, like the video, subscribe. Well, not like, yeah, like, but subscribe for more metal videos if you're curious. But if I had to rate this album, I would have to give it a 7.75 out of 10. Like I said, there's some key moments where the mixing, the drums, kind of low. But, yeah, I mean, it was a pretty decent album. So, go check it out if you haven't. So, alright guys, thanks for watching. See ya.